on the road. All right. Well, we're kind of coming off the heels of Super Saturday, and I really wanted to just encourage y'all tonight after some reflection time that I've had with myself this weekend. And I always want to be transparent here. Y'all are all my, in real life friends. And I always want to be open and transparent about my journey and just kind of the struggles and challenges that it has taken me to get to the place where we are at financially with Plexus. And even just the ongoing mental battle that sometimes this industry can be. We talk about network marketing being a roller coaster, and that does not stop once you start making a full-time income with this. And Aaron was here this weekend. I talked to Stephanie this weekend, and I had some mindset issues and setbacks even this past weekend that I feel like I've had to work through. So I want to share a little bit of that with y'all tonight, and just how important it is to mind your mindset. And if you're on my team, especially, and maybe you've been watching my stories this month, and I've been open with my team about this, and you're thinking, well, gosh, she's not even posting about Plexus this month, or she's doing this other thing on Instagram. I want to say, yes, that has been the case for me. I've talked with my team about that. And honestly, I've had all sorts of feelings surrounding that. I was carrying a good bit of guilt around about it last week. That I'm actually getting on these calls and preaching to y'all, do as I say, not as I do right now as I'm launching this other course. But I want to say this and really go back to the start tonight and share a little bit about what has gotten me to this point and being able to pour into another project that I'm so passionate about, that is lighting me up inside and filling me with so much purpose, is that none of this is possible without Plexus. And I think back to the person who started this journey 7 years ago, 32-year-old Chelsea with 2 babies at home. And I just want to go back to her and give her a hug and tell her thank you for not giving up when it was really hard. When I didn't know what I was doing, when nobody was coming to my events, when nobody came to my first 6 months, when I branched out and started doing my own team calls, when I felt and looked like an idiot on social media, when my best friends ghosted me, when my Bible study wouldn't even ask how my business was going after 2 years, when my cousin told me that I was in a pyramid scheme and I had no authority to talk to anybody about their health. Through all of those things, I am so thankful to her that she continued to stay the course, and not just stay the course, but stay consistent in daily and weekly action that ultimately made me feel more confident, that made me a better leader, that made me more well-spoken, that made me more savvy on social media, and molded me into the person and the things that I'm able to do today. And I just want to take y'all back to 32-year-old Chelsea, who didn't have an Instagram page. Some of y'all are maybe newer to our team and maybe didn't see this part of my journey. I grew to a full-time income with Plexus to senior Ruby without a huge social media following. I had less than 600 friends when I started Plexus 7 years ago, and I had less than 1,000 when I hit Emerald after 4 years. But I've always approached this business with the attitude that everything is figure outable. And I think somebody said that at Super Saturday this weekend. And this has been such a huge part of my journey. And, I always, like I said, I always want to get on here and be transparent. This is part of my story that some of y'all might not even know. Even the ones y'all who have been with me for a while, because I don't always share this, because Jason is obviously a part of the community up here. And I've always just been really careful not to overshare the struggles, because he's a coach in the community and a lot of our local people follow us here. But y'all, there was a time when I first started Plexus, that first year before I went gold, that he was coaching full time and coming home and being an Uber driver 3 times per week. Like, he would come home 7 o'clock, put the kids in the bed, and then he would leave again at 8 o'clock and Uber until midnight, 1 o'clock, literally just so we could pay the bills. And I remember that first year that I was with Plexus, I was still silver. I started sharing in July, August. I think that's right, Steph. So I was still silver. Senior silver wasn't even a thing until after I joined, but I had not hit gold yet. And I remember New Year's Eve, the rates were really high that night for Uber. He left me that night alone with our 2 girls. I was alone on New Year's Eve because we literally needed that $300 that he was going to make that night on New Year's Eve. Christmas was really hard that year. I remember selling things on Facebook Marketplace to pay for Christmas that year. And that might actually be where the minimalism was born, because I was just getting rid of things so that we could pay for Christmas. But it was really hard. And so I had this drive in my bones that I was going to figure this thing out. I was going to make it work no matter what. The fire was hot enough inside of me to keep going despite all of those things that I shared above. I got in stories. I made a fool of myself until I didn't anymore. I learned how to do this until I was confident. I talked about the business even though we were only making enough to cover our products. And I have done that for years. And that is what this business requires. And I just want to be honest with y'all because, like I said, we're friends here. I was pretty disappointed with Super Saturday this past weekend. I called Stephanie, and Erin stayed at my house this weekend, and I'm sure she picked up on some of it. I really got in my head, and I felt like I was really disappointed with Super Saturday. I felt like they could have branded it better. I felt like the incentive could have been better. You know, if I was in charge, this is what I would have done differently. I would have done X, Y, and Z differently. And I kind of pouted about it until last night. And I kind of had a chip on my shoulder about how we should be doing things better by this point. X, Y, Z, whatever feelings I was having, I had a chip on my shoulder and I was pouting until last night, until I got a hold of myself and until Steph got a hold of me and another good Jewel friend of mine got a hold of me and reminded me of two things. So they reminded me that number one, I am the CEO of my own business, period. I am the one who is running the show. Nobody's joining me because Plexus has amazing branding. Nobody's joining me because they run a great Super Saturday. Nobody's joining me because they saw an ad for Plexus on Instagram or Facebook. They are joining me because of the way that I share and the trust that I'm building with people. I am the CEO of my own business, and I get to decide how I show up and how I present Plexus to my audience. And the second thing I was reminded of is that 7 years ago, Chelsea did not need flashy branding and a crazy incentive to share this business. In fact, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pull up the branding. I hope that this is gonna work. Let me see. I'm gonna share the screen with y'all for those of you who are, oh, please let it work. Where did it go? Here we go. Let me make this small. I wanna share with y'all the branding that we had when I joined Plexus 7 years ago. Can y'all see that? This is what we were selling on the internet, y'all. Like, this was the slim package. This was BioCleanse and ProBio. This was it. And let me close this out because I am too ADHD to work with that. But that was it, you know? It was horrific, but I didn't care. I didn't care because I knew the opportunity that I had in my hands, and I knew that there was nothing that was going to keep me from bringing my husband home from Ubering at 3 in the morning. There was nothing that would stop me, no ego that I had that was going to stop me from doing that. And I want to remind y'all tonight that there are literally dozens of Chelseas sitting in your social media feed right now. There are dozens of Ashley Coriels. There are dozens of Leanne's, of Chandra's, of Stephanie's who need this opportunity. And that is what I had to kick my pants and remind myself of yesterday, that it doesn't matter what corporate offers us. And y'all, we have an amazing company. Like, don't hear me hating on the company, because our compensation plan is unmatched. The integrity of our business is unmatched. Our products are unmatched. We have everything we need to run this business. And there are people out there who are literally hanging by a thread, and they need this opportunity. They just don't know what's going to come packaged in the package of network marketing, and they need you to show up and show them. And they're going to miss it if we are not bold enough to get in our stories, to get in our feed and share it with them. And I'm just as guilty as the next girl in different seasons, clearly as recently as Saturday, of just feeling like I need the flashiest new thing, or I need a fancy special, or I need a pretty graphic to share Plexus. And we have got to get back to the mindset that we aren't sharing for the masses. We are sharing for the one. We are sharing for the one. Stephanie is sitting on here as a 3-star diamond because of 3 people on her team. 3 people on her team. And of course, it's a much bigger team effort than that. But when it boils down to it, there are 3 people who caught the vision with Stephanie and decided to run with it. And her life is completely different because of it. And so I want us to go into sharing and remind ourselves of that when we're getting in the trenches and we're doing these daily activities over and over again. We're not doing it for the masses. We're not doing it to show up and share a pretty picture on Instagram. We're doing it to find the one. We're doing it to find the Chelsea, the Susan, the Chandra out there, the Erin out there who needs this opportunity, because she's going to take hold of it and run with it just the way that you have. So, gosh, that has just been like burning a hole in me all day long. And I just want to encourage y'all with that today, because a fire has been relit under myself after this weekend. I had to check my own attitude, and just remind y'all of what we are sitting on and how many people need this opportunity, especially in this economy today. So that is my TED Talk tonight. And Stephanie, you've been like walking me off the ledge for 7 years. I don't know if you want to jump in and share any of that, or share anything to add to that, but those are my thoughts on the matter tonight.
Well, first, I want to say I think it's awesome that you are willing to be so vulnerable with everybody on the call here tonight and just say this, and just be honest and open about where you're at. I can tell you that this past Super Saturday was my 10th Super Saturday. And I was bummed because I thought, to me, and this just goes to show you everybody's different perspective, right? I wasn't looking at the branding. I wasn't, looking at so much at the content. I was like, where's the new product? Because in the past, a lot of times for Super Saturday, they come out with a new product. And it's like this it's like this expectation that I had coming into it, not knowing at all what to expect or what they were going to roll out or what they were going to say. And I was like, dang, I just was looking for something new. No big deal. There'll be something new at convention. Um, but what comes to mind with me in saying this, and I don't know that I say this enough because I don't speak on every single team call. Chelsea runs the majority of the team calls, and I don't say this a whole lot. But I feel like this is really, really important. This, the people who are successful in this, like all of us on this call have had success. I want to say that. I don't care what rank you are. I don't care what goals you've met or haven't met. Every single one of us to some degree have had success in this. And we've seen Plexus as an opportunity to dive into, to continue to grow. And we see the potential in it, right? What I have learned in the years that I've been doing this and the mindset that I've taken on for myself is people who are really, truly long-term successful in this have the long game in mind. When I started this, I told my husband, because I left law enforcement and I had, law enforcement's kind of like nursing. Your certificate is good for 4 years. I don't know about nursing, but every couple of years you have to renew your certificate. And I told him, because of that, I was like, give me 3 years. Give me 3 years to make $1,000 a month. That was my goal because that's what I was making working as a part-time police officer, making $17 an hour with no benefits, working as many shifts as I could. I was bringing home between $700 and $1,000 a month, bringing home. So that was my goal, $1,000 a month. And I said to my husband, give me 3 years to do that. I've never been in a network marketing company before, never knew anybody in one, had no idea what to expect. But I was pretty confident after a couple months in Plexus that I could make $500 to $1,000 a month. And my goal was to stay home with my son. No question. So in my mind, I had no idea that I was going to be a jewel within 2.5 years. You want to talk about eye-opening, like that was my journey. And things have changed. Social media has changed a lot. Our company's changed, like just things are different. So I don't say that to put anything on you like, oh, you should be a jewel within 2 years. I say that to tell you I had 3 years on my brain just to make $1,000 a month. And what I see over and over and over in our business is people who will quit and throw in the towel and walk away because they don't hit a rank, they don't earn an incentive, or they go backwards. Let me tell you, I have went backwards as a diamond. All last year, I was backwards as a diamond, which means not making diamond points. Still a great place and a very blessed place to be. But, the last couple of years have been kind of tough, and I say that to be completely transparent. I'm still here. I'm still here doing all the things. I'm going to continue to do all the things. It doesn't change my mindset. I've never once thought maybe this isn't for me. I've never once thought maybe this industry doesn't work. It does work. And any other industry out there, you'd experience the same thing. So I always tell people, and I used to say this for the longest time, if you went out and built a brick and mortar business, you would not put chains on the door and close the place up because you had a bad month. You wouldn't close shop if you had some employees quit. You'd go find new ones. Why? Because you've got so much invested in that, right? There's very little skin in the game here when you pay a $20 membership, annual membership, and buy products each month. It's very easy to throw this on the back burner. It's very easy to say, oh, these things don't work. It's very easy to say, maybe I can't do this. So I really encourage you to get your mindset, get your mind and your heart in the place of, I'm building this sucker, right? That's how I look at it. This is my family's business. This is what I'm building. This isn't a side gig. It's not just a social selling thing I'm doing. This is my family's business. And I really pride myself, and I know Chelsea does too, on meeting our team where they're at. You may think, well, maybe I don't want to be diamond. Life-changing stuff for me, pay for me stuff would be to be gold or ruby or whatever. Awesome. We will help you get there, and we will, help you do that. But I'm just speaking from my perspective of where I've been. I have 100% taken ownership of this as this is my business. And this is something that I will continue to have my head up and work hard in every season, no matter what. Because no matter what industry we are in, guys, we would have dips. I have friends that are photographers. I have friends that are real estate agents. They all feel the same emotional roller coaster that we do. I just want to emphasize that. This is 100% a long game, right? So taking on that mindset that you're taking ownership of this is you are your own CEO. You can have a better leader than Chelsea. You can have a better leader than Noelle, than Jessica, than myself, than the jewels on this team. There's no, we are here to support you every single step of the way, but it truly is about you saying, I don't care how many people quit. I don't care how many people detox on the products. I don't care how many people say, maybe this isn't for them. This is a whole big giant world, right? I'm a diamond, 3-star diamond, probably with maybe between 4,000 and 5,000 people on my team. That sounds like a lot, right? I live in the city of Jacksonville, Florida, where there's over almost 2 million people that live here. So when you think about the number of people on my team, it's not all that much. And I'm a 3-star diamond. So I just say that to say, like, this is a whole big world, not to mention that we are in different countries, right? So keep doing your thing. Keep just, and I know social media changes and I know things shift, but if you have the attitude, like Chelsea said, I think it was Emily Roberts that said at Super Saturday, everything is figure outable. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out. The only thing I will say, because I feel like we could do a whole training call on social media, I'll say this and I'll shut up. In 2024, people want to see you. They want to see the real you, no BS, no perfect aesthetics, no, picture perfect, everything with a bow on it. They want to see the real you. Hard stop. That's just where we're at. Get in your stories, show your face. Don't be afraid to be bold and say, this is for me. And you guys, you have to do that to get the people out of the way that aren't for you. Because when I first started, I wanted everybody. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, everybody needs to be on my team. Everybody needs these products. I do not have that attitude today. Today, I'm like, I need one person that I can pour into this year and develop as a leader to be the next jewel on my team. I'm not like a fish in a barrel approach, because you've got to get the people out of your way that aren't meant for you, right? Like, think about it. If you had a brick and mortar business somewhere, would you want every single Joe Blow in society to come in and work with you? No, right? Just think about that. So I just can't emphasize that enough, to have a growth mindset, to be curious, to not be afraid to quote unquote fail, and to just have the long set, like the long game vision in this, right? That is the best thing I can say. So no matter what plexus, there have been like years where I'm super excited after an event and maybe like meh, not so excited. Either way, I'm still here and I'm still 100% plexus and I'm still moving this shit forward, sisters. That's my thought on it. So I'll shut up now.
Hey, say some more, because that's the truth. And I want to say this too as we close. And I just put this in the comments. Like, I love your analogy of, if you had a brick and mortar and you are have a dress boutique, you don't need a bunch of men coming in your dress boutique, wasting your time from the women who are actually there who want to buy your product. Same thing goes in our social media. And I'm guilty as the next person of wanting to get up and have a pretty feed and have pretty stories and say the right things in stories and please everybody. I'm still a recovering people pleaser. I still want to share this in a way that feels good and comes wrapped in a pretty package. But at the end of the day, like we need to get in our stories and just get real with the people that we're talking to. I know some of y'all follow Trisha Regar. She has been really vulnerable in her stories recently. And let me tell y'all something. I'm in her business builder chat for the month of December and January, and she has a team of women who are on fire for this business. None of them are influencers. Not a single one of those women in her chat has more than 300 Instagram followers. She has one. She has one who is a semi-influencer, but the rest of them have less than 300 Instagram followers, and they are ranking up every month, and they are on fire for this business because they have a fire lit under their butts just the way that I did 7 years ago to figure this business out and make it work. And so I want to share that. Like you want to be talking to the person who needs this. And that being said, we have an opportunity call next Sunday night. I think moving forward, it's just giving y'all a little peep into kind of what February is going to look like and moving forward as I'm just trying to figure out like what the schedule looks like to make it work for our team and make it work for people. We're probably going to start doing opportunity calls the first Monday of every month just so that we can keep all calls on Mondays. So all opportunity calls will be the first Monday of every month, and then we'll do team calls as normal. For this month, we're doing an opportunity call next Sunday night, and I want y'all to pack the house. Use this week to get in your stories, to talk about this opportunity, to reach out to your existing customers. And don't be weird about it. Just say, hey, we're going to have a quick 15-minute call. This opportunity is changing the finances for my family. I want you to come and check this out and see if this could be for you too. I'll send you a coffee, like coffee on me, but come check this out and see if this might be for you. Invite. Don't be afraid to invite because there are people out there who need what we have. So packed house next Sunday, opportunity call. Keep your fire lit. Keep your fire lit. You are the CEO of your own business and you get to decide how you show up and how you run this thing. Anything,
Chelsea,
anybody want to unmic, share something? Yep. What you got?
I was just gonna say you do that at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. And I will post about it in my team call, and I'll put it in my team chat too. And I'll share it with Noelle. Noelle has the info, but I'll make sure she has it too. I feel like I can go do a workout. I'm all hyped up now. I'm gonna send y'all some of the old Slim samples, get y'all fired up. Chandra, we actually found one when we were at my mom's this past summer. We did our team retreat at my parents' house. We found, Stephanie, one of the OG Slim packets in my mom's junk drawer. Chandra drank that thing down like it was gold.
It was heavenly,
I was gonna,
heavenly.
I was gonna say I hope somebody drank it.
Chandra did.
You know I did.
My mom was like, I didn't know that was in there. All right, y'all. Well, I love you, and we'll see you next Sunday night, 8:30 for the opportunity call. Night, everybody.